let's do this. Let's have. Yeah, I know. I'm going to. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. Our affirmation of living water unity. Together, Living Water Unity is a thriving spiritual community inspired to embrace and share our abundant good now. I'm empowered for joyful living by expressing God in each moment. And who would like to share the daily word this morning?
I'll do it.
All right.
Today's daily word is awareness. And I cannot see it's Psalm, but I'm not sure which one.
Are you not seeing
the... Oh, there it is. Now I can see 119, 18 Psalms. The world feels new as I grow in awareness. Spending time in mindful contemplation increases my awareness of my surroundings. As I concentrate and focus my attention, I shut out distractions and settle my unquiet mind. My world begins to feel brighter, vibrant, and more alive as I notice the soft silence of minute textures and colors I overlooked before. Spending time in prayer increases my awareness of God's goodness, which I share with others when I am patient and kind, generous and forgiving. This goodness returns to me as kindness and gentleness in the people I meet, and the ease and grace in all the places I go. The world is not changed by I have. My awareness of God in and as my life has opened my eyes and ears, my mind and heart. In Psalm 119:18, open my eyes that I may behold wondrous things out of your law.
Thank you, Patrick. And our affirming prayer. As normal, we'll offer this prayer, hold this prayer in this crucible of unconditional love, and then I will invite you to offer your individual prayers, one at a time, but you can offer multiple prayers if you like. So, acknowledging that this point in time, this very moment, in this continuum of our lives, this very instant is when we commune with God. And so we open ourselves to that communion. We invite that presence of the all that is all into our awareness, into our consciousness. And we rest in the awareness that God's love has no end and is a power that knows no bounds. God's healing power of divine life is restoring, healing, and revitalizing our world and our lives in this very moment. We let go of any fears or anxieties, affirming that the divine order is now, has always been, and will always be at work in our lives. We bless our global family with the vision of fulfilling and empowering relationships filled with an abundance of love. And we express our own divinity in all we think, say, and do. And so it is. And I invite your prayers now.
I have two prayers. First one is for my friend Gary, who had open heart surgery. He's a man of faith and things are going well, but just prayers for a complete recovery.
And so it is.
And my second prayer would be for all the folks down in Louisiana as that huge storm comes on the anniversary of Katrina, just to keep them safe and hold them in God's love and light.
And so it is. I have a prayer for Betty, for strength, for comfort, peace of mind. And so it is.
I have a prayer for all of those leaving Afghanistan and those who are staying. Amen.
And so it is.
I have a prayer for you and Linda, David. Wish you both a joyous, healthy, and adventurous retirement.
And so it is.
Along with that, I'd like to offer prayers of thanksgiving for our Board of Trustees for this last board meeting they're going to have with David and all the decisions that need to be made. Thank you, God, for our board, and keep them safe and wise.
And so it is.
I request prayers for Doug and Mary, Mariah, Jay, Zayden, and the baby, all struggling with COVID, and for my brother David, recovering from brain surgery.
Let's take care of the family first and come back to David. And so it is. And for David. And so it is.
Prayers for our living water community so that we can survive and thrive and grow.
And so it is.
So I'm requesting people to hold prayers for Glenn. A few days ago, he disappeared in a rather distraught state. His things aren't packed up, but he's scheduled to move out this coming Wednesday. So I ask for prayers for his peace of mind and safety in his transition.
And so it is.
I'd ask for prayers for Coletta Herrick, who is homeless, living in a motel, and having a terrible time finding a place to live. She was evicted from her apartment in late June because they were refurbishing. She was paying her rent and everything else, so it's a major problem for her. And she also is having some serious lung problems. So just prayers for Coletta that she finds some peace of mind and a new place to live.
And so it is. Are there any other prayer requests? For all of those prayers not spoken, for all of those who are in need of prayer and may or may not be aware of it, for all of those who are challenged in the various aspects of their lives, in their relationships, in their health, in their career. We hold them all in this crucible of unconditional love, and we see them lifted and transformed by the awareness of God's love in their lives right now. And so it is that together we say, Amen. Well, Doug, I hear you have some music you'd like to share?
Good morning, everybody.
Morning, Doug.
I'm going to play a Cole Porter tune this morning entitled, aptly, Every Time We Say Goodbye.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. 21 years of that excellent music, Doug. Thank you. So, it has been a trip. I look back over what has occurred in these 22 years, and I remember the inflection points of the ministry and all of the people that were instrumental in helping us navigate and leverage those inflection points. I'd considered listing all of the people that had been involved. We've had over 1,600 people through our doors over the course of the last 22 years. And those people each contributed something, right? The energy of their presence, even if it was only a day, the energy of their presence for those that have been here since day one. We have been blessed by an abundance of energy for this ministry. And when I considered how many people that I would need to list in order to be complete in my expression of thanksgiving, I realized that A, we couldn't get through the list in this time, and B, I'm bound to miss somebody. I'm bound to miss somebody. I mean, it would be appropriate for me to thank everybody that has come before, that have contributed, that are not here today. Well, anyway, so you can see that my challenge would be that if I mentioned one name, I would need to mention all of them. There's so many things that have been contributed. The presence, the energy of presence, the effort, the ideas, the funds, all have been essential in our progress as a ministry. And when we look at the inflection points, the starting of the ministry and the team of people that were involved prior to our first service to get the thing organized and get the facilities arranged and get the equipment ordered, and then we go through the meeting at the hotel of 88th and Yates, and when we were next door to a very loud band that was in an evangelical church community, separated by 1.5 inches of portable foam walls. We then moved to the dojo, where we set up each morning and tore down each evening, where we rented the dojo for Sunday, and did all of our church there. And then that was after 4 years. We moved to the facility at 77th and Wadsworth, and there we had a 3-year residence before we moved into our building in 2007. In December of 2007, and every one of these transitions required people to come together to contribute their efforts and the ideas to and their funding to make it happen. And then we have the major programs and initiatives that we've gone through: the youth ed, adult ed, bringing church online with our archive videos. We even had an article in the Rocky Mountain News about this leading edge church that's bringing church online. We had renovations to our various facilities that were even the dojo, where we had a portable wall that we rolled out on a Sunday morning to establish in one corner of the dojo to establish a youth ed classroom. We built a 3-foot by 10-foot by 11-foot high closet where we stored everything, including our curtains that we hung up on the wall, and our sound cart and our chairs and our coffee and anyway, and the healing ministry that we began, and the various outreach programs. And then along came COVID, and having to sell our building, and then the current transition that we're all going through right now. I mean, there have been so many people that have contributed to the health and well-being of this ministry. It seems inadequate to say thank you, but our English language has those two words that we can express either lightly or from the depths of our being. And so it is that from the depths of my being that I say thank you, one and all. When I think about the various activities that I've been involved in, that have been surrounded by these many people who have contributed their heart and their energy and their funds, I'm humbled. I would not be surprised if that number were several hundred that we've experienced over time. Of course, we've had the benefit of one of the best church bands in the Unity movement. I know I've seen a variety of church bands and heard about the struggles that other ministries have had in keeping their music program together. And we have been blessed by one of the best group of people. And of course, my wife, who has put up with me and my urge to go into ministry, and my daughter, who originally said, "Well, Dad, if that's what you want to do, let's go for it." And that brings me to the focus of this message that I want to deliver today, and that is that we each stand on the shoulders of a multitude. When we think about, well, first of all, we are the product of literally quintillion, and look that up to see how many zeros it is, but literally quintillions of successful procreators, all the way back to the ooze that covered the earth following the Great Bombardment. We are the result of all of those successful beings that have preceded us. So we rely upon the services of millions to clothe us, to feed us, to house us, to educate us, to protect us, to entertain us, to keep us healthy, or to help restore our health. We rely upon a vast network of people doing the best that they know how at the time that they are with us. So it is a very humbling experience to step back and to consider the immensity of that network, and that the interdependence that we have in our personal and professional and commercial relationships. This pandemic this last year has been very effective in pointing out to us how important the grocery store clerks are, how important the truck drivers are, how important the people in far-flung places that are doing menial jobs to keep us informed, safe, comfortable. One of Thich Nhat Hanh, for those not familiar, Thich Nhat Hanh is a well-known Buddhist teacher. He's in his transition period now. I think that he is still with us, but he is having some health challenges. But one of his famous teaching points was holding up a piece of paper and saying, "What do you see in this piece of paper? And do you see it as a vehicle for capturing your thoughts, or do you see it as a product of the people who sold it to you, of the people who were involved in the distribution of the product to the retail store, of the people who were involved in the manufacture of the product, to the people that were involved in the logging, to the people who were sustaining the loggers with their breakfast and lunch and dinner, to the people." And so when we consider any aspect of our lives, if we look at it from a surface perspective, we might lose the opportunity to appreciate the extreme dependence that we have on so many people. We're truly blessed. Evolution of our bodies, evolution of our social structures, evolution of our culture has all brought us to this point in time that, yes, we're very challenged with the things that are going on, with the war, with the famine, with the climate change, with the impending disaster. You know, I think about the generation that we all are part of, and I can include some ages above and below those in presence here, but the generations that we are part of have really been in the golden years of existence on this planet. And our progeny, our children, our grandchildren are faced with an uncertain future. Troy is just going into, well, he's let's see, what grade is he now? He is in 7th grade now, and he is faced with a future that, if he pays attention to the news, he's likely thinking, well, what do I have to look forward to? We've got these increasing climate issues that are going to roast us in the coming years. How am I, Troy, my grandson, how am I going to make a life that is as good as my parents or my grandparents? Wow. So we have a great deal to be thankful for. And we have a great number of people that have contributed to that. I was in the front yard last week pulling some weeds or putting up siding. I'm not sure what I was doing, but a UPS driver came up and delivered a package to the person, to our neighbor. And I went down to him as he was coming back to his truck. I said, I don't know how often you get this, but I just want to thank you for the work that you do. And he said, well, thank you for that. And I don't often hear that. So we have an opportunity to pay attention to the interdependence that we have and to appreciate all of the people that help us in our progress through life. Perhaps my message is, let's be aware of that interdependence and be willing to express our appreciation to those who are stocking the shelves at the grocery store, to those who are attending to the delivery of our mail, to the providing of our sewer services. All across the board, we have people that we can say thank you to. So let's practice that. Let's look upon the blessings that we have. Let's be willing to go out of our way to say thank you. Let me share with you a passage that might be relevant here. In John 13:34, this was at the end of Jesus' ministry. He was in his community, and he says, I give to you a new commandment, that you love one another, just as I have loved you. You also should love one another. And I will add and express that appreciation. So, I guess that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's have our meditation. As we come into this awareness of the stillness within, of the blessings that we have, of all of the people that have contributed to our well-being and contributed to our health and safety, our education, our entertainment, all across the board. See yourself standing on the shoulders of this vast multitude of people. We are truly blessed. Consider the people that have contributed to your morning this morning. The people in this community that are present. The people in this community that are not present. The people who helped bring your food to you. The people who are responsible for helping us be sheltered and comfortable, clothed, entertained. When we consider all of that interdependence, it might be overwhelming. And it would be nigh on impossible, as it is impossible for me to thank each and every person individually who have contributed to this ministry. It would be impossible to thank all of the people that have been important in the sustenance of our life. Yet, one by one, we can express that appreciation. One by one, we can build a culture of not independence, but we can build a culture of interdependence. A social fabric that is aware of its strengths, of the contributions of those from the most high paid to the low paid. For those that work because they like to work, and those that work because they have to work. For those people that are volunteering, for those people that are invisible. Let us hold them all in this crucible of unconditional love. Love one another as I have loved you. And so it is. It would be appropriate for those who would like to make a contribution to our ministry that if you are so inclined, our offering blessing is divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love because I trust in God.
Thank you, David. We love you for all that you've given to our community. You've given your heart and your soul to us for 22 years. And thank you. And I want to remind everybody else that we are going to live on the interdependence that we have. And we'll be meeting in person next week, Sunday, at our old building. Reverend Rachel has a talk for us called Aloha. Hellos and goodbyes. So, thank you, David.
Thank you, Pam. I'd like to share, appropriately perhaps, I'd like to share with you this song, Daniel Ahmad.
This is my last song. If this is my final day, if tomorrow I'll be gone, what do I want to say? If this is my last song, if it's my time to go, when my body's moved on, what will I have to show? Oh, but fortune and fame, they scatter to the wind. The things that make a name just don't matter in the end. But is the world a little more peaceful. Oceans and skies, a little more blue. Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. If these are my last words for all of the earth to hear, if all that I have ever been is about to disappear, if these are my last words, there's nothing that I need to say. I have only tried to serve. It's never been about talking anyway. So much hurt there is to heal, it's hard to understand. All I can hope to feel is that I am doing what I can. Is the world a little more peaceful? Oceans and skies a little more blue? Is humankind a little bit wiser about the good that we can do? Does the sun shine a little bit brighter where before there was only rain? If so, then I'm glad I came. Have I given hope to the hopeless? Has a hungry soul been fed? Has a child stood a little bit taller because of something that I said? Have I left a little kindness? Have I eased a little pain? If so, then I'm glad I came. For that, I'm so glad I came. If this is my last song, what do I leave behind? What do I pass on if I am out of time?
Wow. Great song, David.
And so it is.
That was beautiful. I love that song. And this is Sandy. Just wanting to say thank you, David, for all the years that we've known you, since about 2009, I guess, and all that you've done for our community. We appreciate you.
Yes, we do.
Thank you. Well, Kay, you got your thunker?
I have my thunker. Next week, join us and it'll sound beautiful.
Yeah.
As we prepare to release our circle and extinguish this flame, we honor the divine light it represents, and we carry that light within us into the world to protect us, to illuminate us, and to guide our actions.
And so it is. Doug, if you would, please. meant to be, with God as Creator, fairly are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous step. To take each road until I reach my beautiful eternity. Let there be fullness and overtaking with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is.